All right, everybody, peace. Welcome to the STBY Basketball Show, wherever or however you're listening. We're so grateful to have you with us. As you guys know, I'm Sean Cottle, and we've got a wonderful show for today, guys. We're going to be recapping the open weekend for WNBA basketball, and it's going to be all WNBA basketball today. I know that the Western Conference Finals start today, but we are going to dedicate this episode just to the start of the WNBA season. And there's two storylines I want to cover on today's show, and that is one being the two most impressive teams I've seen so far during the start of the WNBA season, and also some breaking news coming out of the Connecticut Sun, and why this news could have a major impact not just on the Connecticut Sun but on the league as a whole. So we're not going to waste any time, guys. We're going to get right into it. Like I said, the first topic I want to cover is, and actually, guys, I want to get a quick shout out to my co-host, Mr. Dre Pennington. Dre and we just released a new episode for our podcast about a week ago, and if you haven't already, be sure to check it out. It's definitely one of the best episodes that we've done so far, and over the course of these next 2 months, we're definitely going to be releasing more of our podcast episodes that we've done, and we're excited. And as you guys know, Dre is our resident Minnesota Lynx connoisseur, so he knows anything and everything that's going on in Minnesota right now. So if you guys have any questions about anything, just be sure to reach out to him too. But like I said, guys, I want to talk about the two most impressive teams I've seen so far over the start of the WNBA weekend, and those two teams are the Washington Mystics and the Atlanta Dream. And it's coincidental because both those teams played each other on opening night. But the reason I'm impressed with the Washington Mystics is because of something that I talked about 3 weeks ago, and that was their draft picks being Sonia Citron and Kiki Arifin. And I said on draft night that the Washington Mystics won the draft because of those two picks. Also drafting Georgia Amore. We also know that though Georgia Amore is going to be out for the season with an ACL tear. But that being the case, even still with with Sonia Citron and Kiki Arifin, these two players look like legitimate veterans, even after one game. And as you guys know, I was high on Sonia Citron ever since her freshman year at Notre Dame, and I was sold on Kiki Arifin after her junior year at Stanford. And these two players were a seamless fit for the Washington Mystics, and they both play well off of Brittany Sykes. And also, they have Lucy Olsen coming off the bench as well. And there's a plethora of scoring at the guard position. That was an issue that I thought would be prominent in Washington, but that's not the case. Also, they have Shakira Austin, who is recovering from her hip injury, so she played not in the first game, but in their second game for the Mystics, and as well as Aaliyah Edwards, who still has yet to play, but once she returns, the front court trio of Aaliyah Edwards, Kiki Arifin, and Stephanie Golson will prove to be a formidable matchup for most WNBA teams. And with the movement of Brittany Sykes to the on-ball position for the guard, have her being that primary ball handler, it does open up the spacing, and it creates a lot more scoring opportunities for her teammates because she's so aggressive at all times. She's not your standard point guard. She is more that combo guard position. She actually reminds me of, in terms of her play style, of an Anthony Edwards, in terms of that constant aggression, that constant putting pressure on the defense. And she creates a lot of scoring opportunities by penetrating and drawing in multiple defenders and kicking out to the shooters. And Washington has looked very impressive, like I said, over the first two games. And I will not be surprised if Brittany Sykes is an all WNBA player, and if the Washington Mystics aren't a top 4 team in the league come the end of the season. And I know it's early, but that's just based on what I've seen so far. But let me know what you guys think about that. Based on what you've seen, do you guys think the Washington Mystics can be a top 4 team in the league this year? Another team that has impressed me so far, like I said, are the Atlanta Dream. And we all know that the Atlanta Dream are led by Alicia Gray. And Brittany Griner and Bree Jones, as well as drafting Tahina Paopao. Also Ryan Howard. There's a plethora of talent on that Atlanta team, and they're all scorers, but they all can move well off the ball. And none of these players are ball dominant, and that's why Atlanta offensively is so formidable, but also their length. They're so long on the wings. They're great defensively, and they do a great job playing the passing lanes. And by playing the passing lanes well, they get a lot of deflections and steals, and that leads to more transition buckets. I won't be surprised if Atlanta this year is one of the best teams in transition because of their defensive intensity and their ability to create turnovers. And the only issue or the only cause for concern I may have for Atlanta this year is their depth. I'm not sure if they'll be able to go 8 or 9 deep consistently over the course of the season. That remains to be seen. But once again, based on what I've seen so far, I won't be surprised if the Atlanta Dream are one of the best defensive teams and one of the best teams in transition over the course of this season. But let me know what you guys think. What has been the most impressive thing you've seen so far from the start of the WNBA season? Who has been the most impressive player? What has surprised you guys? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. And in our next segment, guys, we are going to be discussing some interesting news coming out of the Connecticut Suns organization. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back.